Happy Sunday, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Sim-antha here, and I wanted to show you guys today how you can recolor or use screenshots from your game to make custom paintings. Yes, using Sims 4 Studio. I am so excited about this because I stumbled upon how to do this just playing around with Sims 4 Studio the other day, and it all started from my Dine Out series. Two of my favorite Sims as of right now got married, and I realized after I finished playing the file, I saved it, I moved on, I didn't get any pictures in the game of people taking pictures of them. So right now we're in the process of having them look for another house, and I would love to have some of their beautiful wedding pictures on their walls, and it's just a beautiful love story, that whole situation with them. So because of that, it kind of inspired me to kind of research and figure out how to do it. So because I'm dealing with the Mac version of Sims 4 Studio, which is still very limited, there's no easy way to do it. With the other Sims 4 Studio versions for PC, you're able to actually edit an object mesh within the application or the program, and here we can only do create a sim stuff as of right now. I know that they're still working on it, it's still in beta version, so I'm just happy that we have it for Mac, because for the longest we didn't even have it for Mac, so not complaining at all. But because of that, you kind of work around and kind of tweak what you can do with this limited version. But I have figured out a way to do it, and I've tested it and it works. Now I will say this might not be the correct way to do it for the PC version of this studio, of this program, but for Mac I can assure you that this is a surefire way to do this if you wanted to have custom paintings in your game. Specifically in my situation, using screenshots that you have taken within the game with your own keyboard, pressing C, pressing, capture, whatever the situation may be. This is the way I've done it. So real quick, the first thing you're going to definitely need is Sims 4 Studio. I'll put the link in the description box on where to download it at. And you'll also need some type of photo editing program. I use Photoshop Elements. You could also use Paint, Corel Draw, anything like that you feel like would be something that you could edit the actual mesh once you get it. And another thing you're going to actually need is some meshes or some sample meshes. So I have found a couple that work really well that I'm going to show you guys how to use today. And one of them, which was beautiful, found on Sims Resource by a creator called The Numbers Woman. She actually has blank meshes for recolor, and you get all these picture frames, and you get rugs. You heard me correctly. And all you gotta do is put the picture in, and it saves it as a canvas. Also, Oh My Glob Sims has these Valentine's Day art. I really liked these when I looked at them and I used them because they have frames, and the frames look like real frames to me. They have like a 3D effect, so they look like they're pushed off the wall. And you have wood grain, you have gold, you have silver, you have black, you have just anything, any and everything that you want. Another one that I looked at is Sawdad Sims. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. They actually have canvas prints, just prints that look like your sim could have painted on them, and they look like canvas, if that makes any sense. So that was another good one that I liked, that I downloaded. And another one was, who is this? Wadasim, their Tumblr page. They have really good ones too, with just black frames or white frames. But I love that these have like a glossiness to them, if that makes any sense, which you'll see in the game when I show you. And then the last one I used was the Lena's Living Room. These are more like poster size frames. They're really long, and they just have like a small black out frame. But y'all, these 5 right here, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I feel like are perfect to use with what I'm doing for today. So I would definitely grab those, download those, and then let's head on over to Sims 4 Studio so I can show you guys how to import these meshes and use those. So unfortunately, the only way I know how to import meshes and actually make them my own, I don't recommend this if you plan on sharing, because a lot of creators do not like you to take their meshes and use them as your own. But for your own personal gameplay, like who cares, like you're doing it for your own personal gameplay, do not share it with anybody else, okay? So unless you get their permission. So please make sure you follow their terms of usage. But I've got 2 of the files right here that I actually saved the I made copies of the meshes that I downloaded. I put them in a folder somewhere far away, and then the ones that I wanted to use, I made a copy of them and I renamed them, because unfortunately if you change the original mesh and you save it, it's gonna save over what that mesh was. So if it was like Lena such and such and such, when you save it, it's going to save it as Lena. Even if you change the name, it's just going to change the name of that file. So which means you'll have to go back on Safari or internet or whatever and re-download it, and ain't nobody got time for that. So anyway, go to my projects, and what we're going to do is actually grab, you know what I messed up on, guys? Hold on, I renamed them, but I forgot to make sure that they were .package files. So they have to be .package, of course, and then now it should be available for me to see it. I'm going to do the same thing with this rename. All right, and then let me get out of this and do this all over again. All right, there they go. So we got .package. We're going to open up the first one, and someone told me in the comment box during a live stream that I had that you can't use spaces to use underscores. I wish I remembered who your name was. I thank you very much for that. I did not know that. I'm still in the process of learning how to do custom content, so I wasn't aware that you couldn't use spaces. And since I have been doing it and it was working just fine, I just kept doing it. So if I'm not sure why, but just in case, just kind of follow that rule of thumb. So I just named them SGB underscore, and then for this particular thing, I just did test file pick. What you're going to do is you're going to click on this DST image, the first one. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not sure what DST stands for. So you click the DST image here, and it'll show you the picture of whatever the object is. And basically every single option that is in that file will be shown as a DST image. And like, you have to make sure you have this image clicked right here in order to see it. And then here go the thumbnails, but honestly, I wouldn't mess with that because it's gonna kind of, yeah, you don't need it anyway, honestly. So I would just probably pick the first DST that you come across, which is this one right here, and you're going to actually export it. And what that's going to do is take that mesh and make it into a PNG file so that you're able to edit it. If you think it's going to be a mesh that you're going to want to use often, I would name it something that you can remember what it is, and then just save it, and then like put it in a folder where you could just kind of go through and use it up all the time. So for this particular one, I probably just would call it something that's kind of memorable, and I'll just put black frame poster or something like that. So I'll just put poster black frame, and it's going to save it as a PNG, and wherever you saved it at, it'll probably be on your desktop, which is right there. So then I would go into my Photoshop, Corel, Color, Draw, whatever you have, and then we're going to open it up. And it looks, and I've done these before with Create a Sim with you guys if you've watched, and it's pretty much right here in the desktop, and it looks just like it would look like if you were editing an item, clothing item, or anything like that. But what you want to focus on is this little centerpiece where the picture, the current picture is. So what I would do is create a new layer, and then I would grab the picture and put it on that layer. So what you would do is go into your Sims 4, wherever your pictures are, Sims 4 screenshots, or if you have something, I mean, it doesn't even work with just screenshots. You can use it with just any picture. You might see something online that you want to have a picture of, or if you want to have some custom artwork for your Sims house, if their theme is like a certain thing, like if you want to do a Harley Quinn painting or something like that, you can do that. But for this particular situation, since I wanted to do photos of Ashley and Braylon, I wanted to go into and use things like that. So I have some wall prints right here, and I've already done some, so it's not like you're gonna probably see like a bunch right now. All right, so then let's go and grab one of these. I'm just going to see what they look like real quick. So that one's really pretty, of course, and these are all using the poses and stuff that I have in my game, and I like that one, but I feel like it's not going to show. You need something that's more long wise than anything. So this one's really cute. So I'll use this one. He's kind of like picking her up and everything. And so you would have to have like some knowledge already on how to use whatever program you're using. For Photoshop, it's easy. You just literally drag it and you release it on top. That's how easy it is. It's going to process. It's going to do all that type of stuff. Of course, it's going to make it like the size that it originally is. So you're going to need to size it down to get into that little area that it is. And what I like to do is just kind of like place it inside, kind of like get an eye for where it needs to be. It's going to need to be sized down a little bit more. And don't think that, oh, it's just going to be like this. No, it's not going to be like this. We're going to have to crop it down and kind of fit it into this space. and kind of make it where it fits right into the mat. So personally, what I like to do, and I'm going to zoom in as soon as I get like a good enough surface area to crop. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, so right there, I'm going to just hit the check box, zoom in a little bit, and what I like to do personally is go back to the original. I'm going to hide this layer. I'm going to go back to the original painting, and I'm going to just take a square, this little I don't know what you call this thing. It's not a lasso. I forget what it's called, but this little feature right here. Let me see if I hover over it and it'll say what it is. Rectangular marquee tool. There you go. And we're going to grab it, and I'm just going to get inside the painting, and I'm going to do this right here. Okay. So normally when you do this, it's going to select what's inside, but for the layer that it's on. So if I click this, now it's on that layer, and you'll kind of see like a roundabout where the picture is going to be. So then what I would do is right click, and we're going to select inverse, because what I want to do is delete everything but what's on the inside, and then just hit delete. Oh, wrong way. Wrong one. Undo, delete. Undo, delete. It needed to be on the layer that we have. So there we go, delete. And now the picture is in the actual picture. And then all you got to do is just save it. What I would do at this point, don't save it your original picture file that you had, which was ever the mesh that we had. So I'm going to save it as, and I'm just going to put, let's save it as Ashley Braylon. And then we just do pick up. I'll just do it like that, just so I can know what it is. And then I'm going to save it as a ping. You got to ping it. I remember I said that a lot during that live stream. Like, you got to ping it. You got to ping it, because that's the only way it's going to show up. We're going to save it. You can leave it non-interlaced. That's fine. Go back into Sims 4 Studio. And now we're on that image. Now we're going to replace this image with the image that we just created. So I'm going to import it. We're going to pick Ashley Pickup Ping. Ashley Braylon Pickup Ping. We're going to go on and grab it, and it's going to import it in. And in a second, it's going to be there. And then all you got to do is save this .package file and put it into your game. That's it. Isn't that easy? That is so easy. I'm going to show y'all some other features. The only thing that doesn't work, and if you guys know an easier way to do this, if you have done this before, please let me know. But the only thing that doesn't work is like, if I decide I don't want these other images, because they replaced this one, and that's fine. But in that same .package file, it's going to have all these images too. So what I did is just create different pictures to put in there, just so I can have options. But when you go to hit delete, it doesn't really delete the picture. So I don't know how to do that aspect of it. So as of right now, you'll have this picture and the other pictures in it. So if you guys know how to delete it, please let me know. I cannot delete it though. I've tried. Now, I don't know if I pick every single thing and just delete everything. I'm not sure. But that's what I ended up doing. One cool thing about this little feature is once I've created like my crop and I got the picture and everything, I can duplicate these layers, make like a bunch of them. And what I did was did different finishes on them and then save them as different files. So like for this particular situation with Photoshop Elements, I could kind of go in and I could do a layer, and I could do actually it's called filter, I'm sorry. And you could do artistic, and if I wanted to do like a colored pencil, or if I wanted to do like some brushwork type situation, and it'll show you a good preview of what it looks like. So that way it doesn't have to be like an actual photo. You can make it look like this right here is really cute. Of course, you can play around with the levels. What I really liked was the texture one, because it looks like, if I did the grain one, it looks like actual canvas painted, and you would just kind of mess around with the intensity. It's not that one. I'm sorry. It's not. Well, yeah, that was one of them. So it's grain, and it'll mess around with the pressure, not the pressure. It'll mess around with the intensity of it, and you could kind of see, like, hopefully you guys can kind of visualize what I'm talking about, but it makes it look more like a painting, in my opinion. You also got paint daubs, which will make them, you know, look like that, and you can kind of play around with the brush sizes, and you can make it look like something other than okay, that's going to make it really blurry, but you guys get the picture. If you just wanted to have like an abstract art of them, you could do that. And of course, we know it's our bride and groom, and then it'll be something artistic you can put on their wall, and we can play around with the sharpness. This program is really good about stuff like that. I actually like the blurriness of that. That's really cool. And then we could even change the brush type if you want to do simple, light, rough, sparkle, whatever. You could just kind of play around with it and just come up with your own little art. And then all I have to do at that point, I'm gonna leave it simple because I like how that looks, is just hit OK. And then it's going to recreate it into that. And it looks like an abstract art piece, but we definitely know it's a very, you know, wedding picture. It's like a lovey type wedding picture type situation. And then we could do the same thing. I would definitely save it as a whole nother file. I could even save it as the same thing, Ashton Braylon pickup, and then I could just put like a 1 after it or something like that, just so I can know that it's different. And then again, you're going to have to ping it. You're definitely going to have to ping it. Don't forget to ping it. I know some other programs might do different options, but mine does ping, and I just do that. And then we have that painting, and then we would go back into Sims 4 Studio, and then we'd import it into this next image. And then that way, when we go in, we can place it, we can open it, and boom. That's it. Pretty much. And if you want to, you could do black and white, you could do sepia, you could do you know, just any different little, because I mean, my Photoshop does like comic book looking things. It does watercolor. It does blurriness. You could blur the background. You know, you could just do any type of artistic thing you want to do, and then you can have that be on their wall. So now we have that option, and we have the other option. And then another thing you could do if you want to is kind of go into the is it object catalog. One of them you could actually go into and change the price and stuff of the item. I think it's this one. Yeah, so not object definition, object catalog. So this will actually be the information that shows up in the game. So right now it's simoleon 50. If I wanted to make it like their photographer took the pictures and they were like, I got these paintings for you, we want to make them 250 simoleons, you could change it. Or if you want it cheap, you can make it $1, and you just change it right there under object catalog. You could do simoleon price $1 and make it cheap if you want to. You could also change whether you want it to be allowed in the pool, on the wall top, you want to require water surface, require slot. You can make it where they can put it in their inventory or not put it in their inventory. I mean, you got all these options, as you can see. You can put it on the roof if you want to. You just need to change the options on here, and then you can make it pretty much anything. Now, oral properties, I'm not 100% sure what that is. I think that's like, if you look at it, how does it make you feel? You might have to look up the codes and stuff for that. I think that's what that means, but I'm not 100% sure. But honestly, when I did it, the only thing I focused on was where you wanted it to be. We left it in decorative, of course, because it's a painting. And then the simoleon price, and if you wanted to have it, you know, can it go on the fence? Can it go indoor? Can it go outdoor? Can it go, you know, wherever? Can it go on a water surface? If you had a waterfall and you wanted to place it on the water, then that is the features that you would do for that. And then when you're done, you just save it. It's going to save the dot package. And like I said, we didn't fill up everything that we did, of course, because we still have ones that are going to be regular. And then when you save it, all you do is take that dot package file, which is on my desktop, drag it into your mods folder, and that's it. That's it. So I'm going to show you guys one more that we could do. We'll go to my projects, and we're going to actually do the second one right here so I can show you guys a different option. But it's really easy. I was so surprised when I figured out how to do it. I was like, are you serious? That's it. So this is the one with the frames that I really liked. And so the mesh looks a little bit different, but the only thing we need to edit is this little center canvas part. The frame, honestly, I didn't play around with it. You probably could change the color of the frames if you wanted to, but I liked the different frames. I like the fact that we can do black, we can do brown, we can do white, we can do just whatever. So with this particular one, I would definitely export it. And like I said, save it a name that you'll remember what it is. So I'm just going to say framed canvas and then hit save. I'm sorry, you guys, you're going to hear like a lot of smacking in the background. My little one is in here and he's eating chips. And I'm like, why do you want to come in here and eat chips? But I needed to get this video done. You know what I mean? So you got to deal with it. I'm sorry. Anyway, hope you might not even can't hear it, honestly. I can hear it because he's like, yeah. Anyway, so there we go. We got that picture right there. If I wanted to use this same picture, I could just drag and drop it since it's right there. Like I said, go into your files and just see what pictures you want to do. And you could do that. You don't have to use the same picture over and over, but it's the same thing. I'm just going to kind of bring it down a bit till we get to a point where it's a comfortable size. And with this particular one, it's going to be a little bit easier with the lasso tool. I noticed when I did it earlier that this one since I don't have like a mat or anything on the inside, it's just going to be the lasso tool. So I'm just going to aim it in there, and then we're going to go back to this layer. I gotta hit the checkbox though. We gotta accept the changes. Go into this layer, and then I'm going to hit the lasso tool. I'm just going to click that black space, and then what we're going to do is go back here, and I'm going to hit delete. And it's gonna, unfortunately, it's gonna leave this stuff right here, but then you could just kind of get your eraser, and I would make the eraser a little bit bigger because that's going to be so tedious to have to deal with. And then I'm going to erase this stuff because it's only going to erase what's on this layer, because we want to be able to make the frame visible. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of all of that, and I wish I had my pen because I normally use a Wacom pen when I'm doing stuff like this. I'm probably butchering it, but I'm just trying to give you guys like an overview of what it looks like. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to save it. So I'm going to name it something memorable. I'm just going to say Ashley Canvas Framed. I mean, honestly, it's just whatever you want to name it. I'm just going to name it that. Sometimes I just do test 1, test 2. I just make up names. But for the sake of you guys watching, we're going to make it something that's a little bit more easy to remember. Okay, something that looks like I know what I'm doing and I'm organized. And so we're going to do the same thing. Go back into Sims 4 Studio, and we're going to import. So remember, export to get the mesh, import to replace the mesh. So we're going to go here, click open, and then it's going to be there. It's going to be there. And then when we put in the game, it's going to be a nice canvased, framed artwork that you can put on your wall. And like I said, you go into, as soon as it's finished importing, sometimes it takes a little bit to do it. All right, so there it goes. And the same thing again, you can go into the object catalog to get the different prices and stuff. And then I don't, honestly, you know what, y'all? Is it a different one per? It is a different one per. So you need to go in and change it for each one then, if you have different ones, or if you just want to do it for that one. So the first one will probably be for the first mesh, and then so on and so forth. But basically, that's it. We would save it. If you don't feel like messing with the data and stuff, and you don't really care about all that stuff, just import the picture and then just be done with it. So, I mean, that was basically it. Isn't that easy? To me, I felt like it was so easy. The hardest part is probably coming up with what I wanted to do artistically with the paintings. Did I just want to just smack the picture in on there? Or did I want to do like the different layers or the fixtures or anything like that? So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like in game. And I am so happy with the way it came out. So we are in build by mode, and I already placed some stuff on the walls of some things that I created. So here, right here, y'all, isn't this gorgeous? I love how it came out. But this is the picture that is framed, and actually it's sizable. So even though it's normally kind of small, I sized it up to make it super huge, and we got Ashley and Braylon looking so gorgeous on that picture. So I like the fact that you can size this one up and it has the frame, and it looks very realistic to me, and that particular pose is just gorgeous. And you guys gotta check out Flower Chamber. I got all of the wedding poses that I had for that from her. And then you have this one over here, and this was the one I was telling you about that has like a little glossiness to it. I sized up one. It looks like it's actually like a glass framed on top of it, if you guys could kind of visualize and see what I'm talking about. But I really like how it came out because it has like a little glass and a glass look to it. And like I was saying before, with the different finishes, I did a black and white right here, just a regular colorful one, and then I got like this little, I don't know, it was like a little glow feature where you could like have her glowing around it. And then on this one right here, the little canvas print ones, I have different finishes on that one too. And of course, these are different poses, but one is more, I guess you could say like paint. It looks like paint. And then another one up here is a little bit, I don't know how to describe the different finishes I did, but you guys can kind of get like a visual of what the different ones look. And then you got this one up here, which has like more of a color pencil type situation. And then you got this frame right here, which is like very similar to the other ones. It's got like a little glossiness to it, and I did like a different finish on that one. And then just for fun, I just kind of made this little canvas that says Mr. and Mrs. Tharp, because that's our girl's new name, her new last name. So anyway, that's pretty much it. And now I can just go and adorn their walls with all the stuff. And like I was saying before, with these particular paintings, they'll be like considered custom content. So once you go into your game and you've put them in your mod folder, you can pretty much just go either to decorative and look at your paintings, or you could just kind of filter by custom content. And I have other junk in my game right now, but you can see this is one of the pictures right here. Comes normally this size. I sized it up to get to the size that we had, and then I think I put a handful into the game. So there's one like this one right here, I'm not even sure which finishes I did, but I did different little looks. I didn't know which one I wanted to go for, so I just did like a bunch of different little ones. And then we have this black and white one, and then and basically I just filled up the entire thing with pictures, just so I can kind of have like my pick and choose of what my favorite one was, because you honestly kind of don't know what they're going to look like when you get them in the game. But these are all a little bit different. I don't know if you guys could tell, but they're all a little bit different, like the black and white, and I did different little finishes and stuff on it. So that was one set, and like I said, you could size them up. You could do like, you know, a big and kind of put like this next to it, especially if you have move objects on, or you want to hit your option button and kind of like slide them around. You can kind of set them up on your wall any kind of way. I love how they came out. I was like so excited. Then you got this black and white right here. I just did a bunch, y'all. As you can see, I did a bunch, and I just wanted to kind of get my feel for like the different types I could do, and the different I don't know, just like all the stuff that I could do, basically. Basically, long story short. And I'm trying to make sure I showed you guys, because I got other stuff. I'm working on my Harley Quinn's machinima for next week. This was actually the test one that I did in order to, when I finally figured out how to do it, I was like, this was the first picture I had in my thing. And I was like, well, let's try it with this picture. So that was the one. And when I realized it worked with that one, I was like, oh yeah, it's on. But anyway, so that's pretty much how you do it. Hopefully I just was able to explain it to you guys in a way where you can understand it. I know it's kind of confusing just dealing with Sims 4 Studio altogether, but I mean, I think it came out gorgeous. I love them. As a matter of fact, I love them so much, I end up making it my desktop, like no lie. So right now, that picture that you guys see is my desktop right here. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, like I said, just please let me know. I will explain it to the best of my ability. Also, if you actually do not mind, and I just made 2,000 subscribers the other day, so I'm excited about it. So if you guys have any prints and you don't have the capability of doing these and you would like me to convert them over for you, please let me know. I'll be happy to do that for you guys. And I will see you guys next time. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.